Minecraft ripoffs. Something I've never talked about on this channel before. What? This isn't me reusing ideas. The last one came out 2 years ago. Come on, guys, please. More Minecraft. So as you can tell, today I'm getting back in the ring and covering one last mega collection of Minecraft ripoffs. The first video had 10, the second had 20, and this one, well, you could probably guess. And even better, today I'll be exclusively covering Android games, something I've barely touched on in the past. I also got a handful of guests to give some of their own reviews, but I guess you'll just have to watch and see. But first things first, I learned a lot since the last two videos. Something worth noting for this series in particular is that Minecraft actually started out as a clone of another indie game, Infiniminer. This is according to the description of Notch's first upload of early Minecraft gameplay on YouTube, where the description describes his game as an Infiniminer clone. However, I'd argue that once Minecraft started taking shape as a survival game, that label became void. Infiniminer was a team versus team FPS. And while there was building and breaking blocks, there was no crafting, mobs, or resource management. You know, the things that made people fall in love with Minecraft. It's basically the same as calling Pixel Gun a Minecraft ripoff. Sure, it might have started out as one by copying the style, but over time, the game grew into its own thing. A lot has changed since the last time I covered Minecraft ripoffs. Something I noticed personally is that a lot of app developers found a new method of piggybacking on Minecraft's popularity. Making apps with mods, maps, skins, and add-ons. This newer method takes a lot less effort. Instead of making an entire game, just steal a bunch of maps and add-ons from websites like MCPEDL, and put that on the App Store with a boatload of ads. You can even put "for Minecraft" in the title for more search results. There's also another lazy method of Minecraft ripoff creation. We'll see it in our first game we'll be looking at, Block Crazy Robo World. And it's an exact copy of Minecraft, but with different textures. I already covered a handful of these, but there seems to be a whole ecosystem of copy-pasted Minecraft reskins. This goes one level lower than ripoffs, with whoever's behind these games putting even less effort into them. Just taking a version of Minecraft Pocket Edition, an older one judging by the UI, and just putting it on the App Store. The game itself is literally just an older version of Minecraft Pocket Edition. This means the play experience is about the same, aside from recolored menus and worse textures. Overall, if you want a free version of Minecraft that's just like it with a texture pack, just download an APK of the real game. There's literally no reason to play this instead. Next, we got CubeCraft. So we've gone from a direct copy of Minecraft to a copy that doesn't directly steal anything. This basically plays as a mobile gamified version of Minecraft. You gather materials, chop down trees, and mine cobblestone, then use the materials to build houses. But it takes elements that usually wouldn't be the focus of the game. If you were to ask someone what makes Minecraft such a fun game, I assure you very few would say that chopping trees down is their favorite part. It's the creativity that comes from being able to build whatever you want. And when you take the creativity out of the game, it leaves you feeling empty. Like you have to do all the work with none of the reward. It feels like it was made by someone who knows about Minecraft, specifically knows that it's popular, but doesn't understand the fun of the game. As if you were describing Minecraft without any of the reasons why it's fun. In some ways it almost recreates the experience of Minecraft, except that it's only the material gathering. You never get excited about what you're building because you don't get to decide what it is. You're just walking from point A to point B, then back to point A to get more wood. When the game literally completes itself in front of you, you're just stuck doing the busy work and waiting for things to progress. When looking at videos on Minecraft, they almost never keep in the resource gathering because it's an intensive grind that gets repetitive very quickly. So I find it strange that this game is trying to be nothing but that monotonous grinding. The game is well aware of this too. Every once in a while, you could find things on the ground, different items that help the game pass by faster. More inventory space, faster mining, etc. But at the end of the day, you're just stuck with the same gameplay loop over and over again, regardless of how quickly you could do it. The scenery changes, but the actual gameplay doesn't. The whole time, I never really felt like I was making progress. You could see the number of diamonds going up, and you do build different structures, but that dopamine hit never really comes, because you don't feel like you actually gain anything, which leaves the game feeling like it's empty. A game that has a lot in common with this is actually Cookie Clicker. It's another game that has numbers going up on a screen, but the reason that game works is because you're able to exponentially get more and more cookies to see the number go up faster and higher. You can compare your early game just clicking on the cookie with all the upgrades you get, and you could noticeably see the improvement. Here, the only way to do that is to watch ads. That's kind of what it means to make a successful free mobile game. A game that isn't fun. One that forces people to watch ads for any level of reward. So yeah, it really has just taken Minecraft and turned it into a regular mobile game. But that takes away everything that made Minecraft unique in the first place. Overall, I think my opinions of this game are actually very minimal. I think the fact I had to go on an entire tirade about the philosophy of mobile games says a lot more about this game's lack of anything interesting. I'm almost hesitant to call it a ripoff, more like a misguided remake that takes away everything that made Minecraft interesting. Next, we got crafting and building. First things first, this game forces you to be online, which is always a bad sign. Oh no. Oh no. This is just another direct rip of Minecraft. A few replaced textures here, a couple of UI changes there, and it's literally the exact same game. This one's an even more direct ripoff. The game takes directly from the Caves and Cliffs update, as you can tell with the main menu. The controls are worse, with a generic virtual joystick that's shaped like a square.
Okay, so apparently the joystick is actually just a part of a new control method for Pocket Edition. I just haven't played the game in a while.
And because it's a newer version, landmarks like villages and strongholds spawn. The strongholds even spawn directly beneath villages, the exact same generation as Bedrock Edition. They really think that by slightly changing all the textures around, they can somehow magically differentiate itself from Minecraft, despite being the exact same game. I tried to find the end portal, but the stronghold I found led to nowhere, even after blowing it up, and I feel kind of dirty playing this crusty looking game. As I said before, if you want a free version of Minecraft, just pirate it, or even better, just cough up the money to buy it. Also, I got an ad for a Minecraft Lucky Block mod, which is funny because, Minecraft. Next, we got Craft Monster Master. Why? It's the exact same game, but again, this one makes even less of an attempt to differentiate itself from Minecraft, looking exactly the same with more mild texture changes. So you know what? Instead, I'm gonna play Craftsman Building Craft, which I conveniently got as an advertisement.
Fuck this game.
No. Oh no. Don't tell me. Don't tell me, please. Don't be another exact recreation of Minecraft, and that's exactly what it is. Somehow it's even worse than the other one, with very obvious creases in the menu background. The UI is slightly different, by that I mean it's blue now, but it's the exact same copy of Minecraft. Somehow the textures are even more similar than the last one. How deep does the rabbit hole of exact Minecraft copies on Android go? Why are there so many of these that the Google Play Store does nothing about?
Hello! I've been kidnapped and forced to play a super duper fun Minecraft. I mean, a super fun block game that may or may not resemble a popular sandbox game. But that's just a coincidence, of course. So let's just play some good old Desert Craft. This game's main menu looks fantastic. Survival looks the most interesting, so let's just start with that. To start everything off, the controls for this game feel clunky and slow. And don't even get me started on the crafting. Crafting a pickaxe took almost 5 minutes. When I tried dragging something to the crafting slots, it just wouldn't work. But I eventually got the hang of it, so I did what every great explorer does and dig straight down, and it took me nowhere. So I gave up and decided to play creative mode. The creative world put me in a grass biome, which doesn't reflect the game's name at all, but I ignored this major oversight and killed the man. He was sturdy, but I managed. After committing first-degree murder, I built the best tomato I could ever make, and it was stunning. The building in creative mode is just plain bad. It's slow, you can't spam blocks, and you can't instantly break blocks. So you just have to slowly stand there, break a block of wood. And since the building sucks, you're gonna mess up quite a bit. So breaking stuff is something you're going to do. So do I recommend this awesome Minecraft game? No. Yes. I do. It's a masterpiece that should put up in museums across the globe. It's so good I believe everyone watching should download it immediately. So what are you waiting for? Go download this peak, please.
Next we got Craft City Loki. For the love of God, please just be a mildly original game. Nope! It's the exact same game for the 14th time. I don't know if I could take any more of the exact same game. Why is it the same every time? It's just Minecraft. It's all just Minecraft! The only worthwhile thing of note is that the name seems to be based on LokiCraft, which seems to be another Minecraft ripoff game. Next is Minetap, Craft, and Merge. Finally, we're out of the realm of direct Minecraft copies. However, we're not out of the realm of bad games. In this game, you get blocks and merge them to get higher level blocks. You can use the higher level blocks to craft better items in order to get more blocks. Much like all other merge games, it's all just a big waiting simulator. Whenever you want to make any sort of progress, you have to wait for it, which gets a little boring over time. I will say it's pretty interesting how many aspects of Minecraft's game design have been refitted to work in this new format. Crafting, building, smelting, and so much more is all here. All of these factors come together to make this more Minecraft themed than a generic merge game. While this game is technically similar to CubeCraft, the process of getting blocks isn't just standing next to a tree and doing nothing. Instead, you actually have a game here. It isn't exactly reinventing the wheel, but again, it's better than standing there. Some of the progression doesn't make much sense. You combine stone to get iron ore to get an iron block. Sure. Then when you combine 2 iron blocks, you get gravel for some reason. Iron blocks aren't worth 9 iron anymore, although a lot of other crafting recipes are directly translated. Much like CubeCraft, there's also a village mode where you build different structures to grow a village. You build them with blocks, which you gain every time you merge other ones. Over time, you can also get more and more space to merge more blocks. Occasionally, the game drops a chest with a timer that incentivizes players to keep going for another 10 minutes. It drops other chests too, like ones you need to watch an ad to open. Oh boy, I love mobile games. With constant timers you need to wait for, you may be wondering how the game keeps people playing. Every time you make any form of progress, the game gives you constant notifications. This game also has a constant need to add more quests, even including bonus characters you unlock by watching ads. Every single one of these features are just another attempt to keep people playing. Constant quests, constant pretty colors. After a little while, the game slows down quite a lot, and that initial enjoyment disappears very quickly. After a few minutes, I got bored, but by then it hopes you've already watched enough ads to make the money. Next game is School Party Craft, because if there's anything kids like, it's school. The second you get in the game, you're immediately hit with 1 billion options. What will you do first? I don't know, why don't you let me figure out what this game actually is? First, let's check out skins and clothing. In this game, you could play as a lot of different little guys. But no matter which one you choose, all the skins have this ugly 3D texture. Despite not being connected to the internet, the game really wants you to believe these mods are real. The characters have flags next to their names as if they were actually coming from these countries, which is strange because they don't talk like humans.
How is your mood? Hello?
I have no idea where I'm supposed to go, but the game gives you a series of quests you can complete. And even then, running into people with a car is also a good alternative. Not to mention the cars look nothing like Minecraft. My immersion is just completely broken. This is so sad. To put it simply, this game really is just GTA for children. Even though the game has school in the title, the game thinks it would be a smart idea to give you a gun. So I guess this game takes place in America. But don't worry guys, it's a paintball gun. Of course, you could also put on a Friday the 13th style hockey mask, but I'm sure that doesn't mean anything. But don't worry about this game corrupting your brain to make you evil, as it knows the difference between right and wrong. When you shoot at people, your happiness percentage goes down. So who's really winning?
How is your mood?
Bad. I wasn't very inclined to do the missions, as unlike my character, I take
great pleasure in the suffering of others.
You could also message players, but they're not real, so the conversations are completely incoherent.
Hello?
Kill yourself.
I like this cat.
Die, please.
Ran.
Clearly my friendship with Blood Ray means nothing, so maybe I can find some new friends at the club. I already hate everyone here. I feel like this game is trying its best to be like Brookhaven or other Roblox simulator games. But instead of being a gangster or whatever you do in Brookhaven, instead you go around being a nuisance and opening chests. Also, why are there very colorful bags of garbage littered everywhere? Never mind, I have recruited an army of pets that I'm neglecting, so all's right with the world. Oh wait, I have a property in this game? Hey buddy, can you get off my property please? Bro, stop! Get out! Why is the whole squad? Here's one called Craft World. This seems to be a ripoff of another game I've played in the first Minecraft ripoffs video, called BlockCraft 3D Building Game, which seems to be one of the most popular Minecraft ripoffs. This one has practically the same gameplay, having some superficial similarities with games like Clash of Clans and My Singing Monsters, except instead, it's Minecraft, and when you select a build from the shop, you instead have to build it yourself. Everything from the gameplay format to the presentation just seems like a worse version of BlockCraft. The way the next block appears with a ghost-like overlay is virtually identical to how it was when I played BlockCraft. Once building starts, it's impossible to place blocks outside of the preset, which means you're basically just stuck building exactly how the game wants you to. A lot like building a Lego set. The sensitivity is also very, very low. It's not uncommon to have to swipe multiple times just to turn around. Luckily, there isn't any combat mechanics or enemies, so timing isn't that important. If I had to use a word that would describe this game's controls, that would be
Slow.
Everything from moving around to flying to building is all just slightly slower than I feel it should be, and that gets a bit frustrating. But don't worry, there's also an option to build on your own. However, that's also at the cost of blocks. Once you run out of blocks, you have to use coins to buy more. The control for breaking blocks is really annoying. Instead of just holding down on the block like it would be in regular Minecraft, you instead have to switch to pickaxe mode. That extra button press, adding to the feeling of this game being slow. For some reason, every time you build, it switches back to pickaxe mode, which causes you to destroy what the game just told you to build. And those blocks don't reappear, leading to these really annoying holes in builds that should be solid. Overall, not that great of a game. In fact, rather repetitive. It's just waiting for you to run out of blocks so it can force you to watch an ad to replenish them.
Hey, it's me, and it's not getting any better from here, is it? Who needs comfort when you have Lovecraft boys and girls? You can craft a love? Just like that? Apparently science still needs funding because when I try to play, I get a bunch of ads, but I have to push through for him. Here's another one right now. Alright, now let's... Alright. Lovecraft boys and girls looks different from the last time I played it. Alright, we have a great selection, a bunch of white people with their disgusting feet out. It looks like a futuristic hub video. Okay, I selected 2010s plaid girl. And I just started talking a storm. Then I realized, I don't know what any of this is.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
It looks like you have to select the right emotions so the Minecraft hotties will follow you, but like, I don't know how that helps me, and they all seem to react the same. They're only pretending to hear me out. I see how it is. So I tried to dig a hole and become one with nature in an anti-technology tantrum until I realized I don't know how to dig a hole. Don't try to craft love. And yeah, I'll say it. Fuck off, Joshua!
Next game is Craft Commander Mine and Build. This game is really weird. You play as Steve from a top-down perspective and level up your base while recruiting piglins to attack zombies. Unlike the last couple games, this one isn't one ever-changing game, but instead being confined to levels. You need to set up a base, much like a tycoon except it resets every level. Then you have to kill zombies, free villagers, and charge into battle with your army. The game uses these really unfitting royalty-free sound effects, and it gives the whole game the same vibe as YouTube Kids videos, where the voices are not at all matching the characters. Every level you unlock a new mechanic to play with, a new element added to your base, which you could use to continue your conquest. The punishment for dying is exactly the same as it is in regular Minecraft. You lose everything you're holding, which in this game would be the iron and gold needed to continue leveling up your base. Upon level reset, all immediate progress is lost, forcing you to get back to building from square one. This gets kind of annoying, since it makes you feel like you're going backwards. In later levels, mobs like Endermen start to spawn, but unlike the mobs in the actual game, they all just act like stronger and bigger zombies. This game also has skins, so you don't have to play as this weird misshapen Steve. Instead, you can be characters from other things, like the doll from Squid Game, various DC superheroes, Freddy Fazbear, Joker, and even Shrek. There are flags every few levels, and when you claim them, you get to see all the characters' T-pose, and it's very scary. Eventually, the game told me to tap on something I couldn't tap on, and the game got soft-locked. Overall, how do I get out? Someone help, please. The next game we have is Craftman Go. This game seems to be a ripoff of Blockman Go, another game I covered in the last video. But once we actually get in the game, the execution seems to be quite different. Like, really different. Blockman Go follows a Roblox-like structure of different games, and Craftman Go does something similar, but distinct. The game immediately starts with a daily gift, encouraging children to make playing this game a daily habit. The game seems to be made up of 3 different game modes: Craft.io, Creative Mode, and Escape Hell. In Craft.io,
or is it Craft Block World?
The world may never know.
You play as some bootleg version of Steve while attacking everyone around you, swatting them down into little pancakes. Truly, only a monster would come up with this sort of thing. Like many other fake.io games, it's incredibly obvious that the players you're fighting against aren't actually real. They have names of what are supposed to be real players, but in reality, they're just not. This minigame is surprisingly violent, with certain death animations having actual blood. So no, Jimmy, I'm not gonna let you play this game. As you destroy your opponents, you become bigger and bigger, and so does your hitbox, leading to exponential progression in terms of what you can do. On different levels, you're given different weapons. It would have been interesting to have different classes with different weapons, rather than just a slightly different hitbox to use, especially since if you weren't playing against bots, it would be pretty broken, since the longer hitboxes seem to be a direct improvement over shorter ones. Either way, I'm just giving this way too much thought. Next, we got Creative Mode, which is yet another ripoff of BlockCraft 3D building game, this time being an even more obvious ripoff, having the exact same progression of building, starting with a simple well and slowly unlocking more complex structures. Just like that game, it lets you build until you run out of blocks, where you'll then need to get more blocks with gold, or ads. I am incredibly underwhelmed. The last minigame is Escape Hell, which is played in portrait mode. I'm 100% sure this is just another mobile game, but then again, most mobile games just rip each other off anyways. This seems to just be an endless runner type. Using the format, try to get as far as you can without dying, rather than being level or progression based. It's okay, but I can't leave. My guess is that the game hopes that by being 3 smaller games, it could pretend to be a much bigger one. Which doesn't really work, but good try, I guess. This one is called Crafty Lands. This game is kind of ass. First of all, it requires an internet connection, which means it wants to give you ads. After picking a map, it just spawns me in the middle of nowhere and expects me to know what to do. Following these pillars, it just takes me to a big tree. A tree which leads to literally nothing. I'm not quite sure what the goal is here. You can mine with the drill, and you can place blocks with a magic wand, but the game gives you no direction on what to do. I get that Minecraft is also a sandbox game, but Minecraft also lets you craft and do things. The closest thing this game has are these kind of horrifying deer around the map, but there's no way to kill them and expunge them from existence. I know, very unfortunate. Something that's kind of cool is that there's a very minor rotating effect as you go across the map, making it look like you're traversing an actual planet, sort of like the effect in Animal Crossing. There are other maps too, and because this game doesn't have a goal, you unlock all of them immediately upon starting the game. And when you go there, you can experience the deep, enthralling gameplay of raking and placing blocks. I don't really know why this game exists. I guess ad money? Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, cool. It's Fortnite Skull Trooper. I'm gonna buy the... Wait, what? They cost real money? Oh, it's because the game wants to con kids into giving it their parents money. How pleasant. Thankfully, the game lets you try on other skins by trapping you in a small box where you can't do anything, but when it comes to actually getting them, sorry kid, better cough up the dough. Overall, this game was mildly disappointing. I also got an ad for this other game, MiniCraft, BlockStarPlanet, and I think it's really weird how other Minecraft ripoffs seem to be attaching themselves to other ripoff games, hoping that kids confuse them for the game they're already playing. Although it's more like the ad hosters are recognizing the pattern than anything else. The next game I'll be looking at is MonsterCrafter. This game immediately opens with lore. something year 2030, I don't really care. My name is Edgar Fly, and I have to pick a starter Pokemon. I'm going for Charmander. The cool thing in this game is that you actually get to design your monster yourself. Now that doesn't mean it's gonna look good, because it isn't, but the fact that you can create your own monster at all is pretty cool. Aw, how cute. I'm gonna name him The developers combined Minecraft and other types of games in a way that's actually pretty interesting, rather than more straightforward combinations of these games, like Pixelmon. The game's battle sections take place in dungeons, corridors that you go down where you have to fight 3 monsters, 2 normal ones, and a boss. We're starting out in the grass level, so it seems picking a fire type was the right choice. While I'm not a big fan of in-game shops with free gifts and expensive microtransactions, I do find it interesting that you get to break blocks to open the loot box. It's still basically gambling, but hey, at least it looks visually interesting and it fits the theme of the game. I usually don't like turn-based RPG games, but in this game, the combat has some additional interactivity. Whenever you hit your opponents, they have a tendency to drop items you can then pick up to benefit yourself, like little tokens of your element to use higher level attacks, or hearts that heal your monster. This is especially important as there'll be a ton of close calls and your health doesn't regenerate between fights. After beating the first dungeon, the game decided to give me a second monster. I'm gonna call this one Blurg. As your monster evolves, it unlocks more and more abilities, but it doesn't level up fast enough to keep up with your enemies. When you make it to level 2, your enemies are on level 3. When you get a new monster that's a level 1, you're now gonna see enemies at level 4. It's designed in a way that after a certain amount of time, you're guaranteed to lose just because of the sheer numbers disadvantage. That's because if you're forced to lose, then you're forced to respawn. And to do that, you need to watch ads or use gold. And leveling up through trial and error is impossible, as when you leave the dungeon after losing, you forfeit all XP, which means you can't level up in the grinding monster game. The last really annoying feature this game has is a stamina system. Ew. Overall, I have really mixed opinions on this one. On one hand, I really do like the game. I think its ideas are pretty good with the creativity involved, but once you look past the surface, this game just wasn't designed for people to enjoy playing it for free.
What's up, homeboys? Danerade here. Terror and I have collaborated quite a bit, and recently, I gave Terror the opportunity to voice a former PopCap employee in my video, The Tragic Demise of Plants vs. Zombies. Shameless plug? Yes. In return, Terror tasked me with an even greater opportunity to thank me for offering him his role in my video. Today, I get to check out Minecraft Garten of Banban. Yeah! I like Minecraft, and I like Garten of Banban. Playing both these games has such a light and airy feel to it, just like
chiffon.
You put them together, I can't help but be excited. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to try to be as objective as possible when reviewing this game. When booting up the game, you may notice that there are these non-removable ads placed at the top of the screen. To keep you guys engaged and not click off this video, I'll layer Subway Surfers gameplay over it. So we spawn in this primarily empty room, which I get it. Game development is hard. The best part of this game is easily the art direction. It's so Minecraft. Oh yeah, if you want to hunt for the lore in this game, every time you click on one of the notes, you'll have to watch an ad. I like money too. We walk down a long hallway and find Opila Bird. Better lock the door or else we go all the way back to the beginning. This game design decision harkens back to the NES days when there were no save features. So when you died, it was back to the start of the game. Now, while Opila Bird kinda looks like he's from Minecraft, I have no idea what's going on with the Bambolina model. It's just a hodgepodge of different shapes you learn how to find the volume of back in geometry class. What's going on with her feet? So, this recreation of Garten of Banban parallels that of Chapter 2, where Bambolina is just a massive dick. I think it would have been a good opportunity to reimagine this section, considering the setting of the game is supposed to be a kindergarten. Maybe we could have learned basic colors like red, blue, orange. But what we have here is still adequate as we tackle tricky puzzles and navigate the complexities of
a labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize.
Overall, Minecraft Garten of Banban combines two of the greatest games by bringing the best of both worlds with top quality animations, unique characters, and more, all presented in a portable form factor prime to take over the gaming landscape. Back to you, Terror!
The next game we'll be looking at is... The next game we'll be looking at is BlockStarPlanet. Title-wise, this seems to be a ripoff of another Minecraft ripoff, MiniCraft. This isn't the first time we've seen ripoffs of ripoffs. In fact, this very video had some. But I don't know, maybe it'll lead to some interesting things. First things first, the game immediately hit us with a daily reward. Oh boy, I can't wait to wake up every day just to play this game forever. Something you'll quickly pick up on is that creative is the only game mode in this game. I imagine a survival mode either costs money or isn't in this version of the game. After not letting me make a world because of the title, and having to make a completely new one, I get to choose my character, which seems to be some Five Nights at Freddy's looking guy. Loading on, it seems to be a pretty typical Minecraft ripoff. I spawned on an island, there's some sand and trees around, you know, the usual. Checking the creative inventory, there seems to be a lot of different blocks in this game. Obviously not as much as Minecraft, but a lot nonetheless. Looking around, there's also various mobs. You encounter different birds and hogs that you wouldn't find in Minecraft. This game seems to borrow a lot of aspects from a game from the first video, called Survival Craft Day 1. Something interesting is that the mobs will still try to attack you, even in creative mode, while in the real Minecraft, they're passive. Of course they can't kill you because you're in creative mode, but still, weird that they go after you. Dude! Go away! Leave me alone! Another interesting difference is that breaking blocks in creative mode actually drops a block, while in Minecraft it just breaks. Obviously, both games are still very similar, but at least it's attempting to be a different version of Minecraft. While I respect that they didn't copy Minecraft verbatim, it's very clear that it's a lot more interesting to point out the differences than the similarities. As yeah, they're different games, but not that much. Why are there so many hogs at my house? Get out! What do you guys think? If you think it looks great, or if you think it looks completely terrible, make sure to comment, wow, that's a great house. I am very proud of you. As for this game, I think it's okay. Next is Ninja Sword Fight Game. This one's interesting. It doesn't brand itself as a Minecraft ripoff, and instead takes the more generic title of Ninja Sword. But that doesn't stop it from using Minecraft for all of its visuals, so it still counts. It takes the form of a pretty generic mobile game. So generic, in fact, that I've even covered a game just like this before. You basically fly through the air with a sword and try to kill all the enemies. In the one I played before, the characters were all FNAF and Undertale branded stickmen. But here, they're Minecraft characters. I think the reason the developers chose to base its visuals off of Minecraft is for two reasons. Firstly, branding. Minecraft is a popular game, so it makes sense to piggyback off of its art style, because it makes designing skins for the game really easy. All they have to do is go to Skindex or any other Minecraft skins website and just yoink design. This also streamlines the skin system, which is pretty much the entire reason this game exists. You have to watch ads for skins. You have to play the game to get coins to get skins. Skins is how the game makes money, and it's also your reward for playing. Another thing this game relies on are constant pop-ups. After every level, you're pretty much guaranteed to have some sort of pop-up, whether it's the option to get a skin, for an ad of course, or whether you could get more coins at the end of a level, to buy more skins in the shop. When killing mobs, you can just wave your sword around, but it's better to go for the head. But that's really the only strategy this game has. I guess you could use your sword to block arrows from skeletons, but generally I was able to play this game with my mind on autopilot. Much like that game Craft Commander, one of the other 8 million games in this video, other copyrighted characters are used to appeal to kids. Can't use skins to keep kids playing if they don't want to get them, and I guess that's why I don't really care to keep playing, regardless of how many coins or skins the game shoves down my throat. But sword fighting through levels isn't the only mechanic this game has. There's also a small section where you use diamond blocks you collect over the course of the game in order to make a world that generates gold while you're away. If you want a better town, then you have to watch ads. But that's not a surprise because it's at every facet of this game at this point. And of course, all that gold is used to get skins. Overall, this just seems like your average generic voodoo-like game at this point. Greedy mobile games aren't all that much of a shock, but Spider-Man holding a gay pride sword kind of is, so I guess that's something new and daring. The next game is MiniCraft City, Roblox game. So no joke, the first thing I see when I get on this game is Skibbity Toilet. Then I shoot it, and it makes a Skibbity Toilet noise. This seems to be another GTA style game. I'm not sure what exactly this game has to do with Roblox, but I'll figure it out. This game is very similar to School Party Craft. The first thing you see after the Skibbity Toilets is a daily quest telling you to destroy the Skibbity Toilet monster, and you have to destroy 15 of them. I killed Theodore. Now the thing that makes this game really cool is that you can go around shooting whatever you want with no consequence. So it turns out there's a build tab in this game, and after using it, it turns out that this game is also a ripoff of BlockCraft, my favorite. The only difference is that in this game you can build Among Us and Skibbity Toilet items. Also you can walk on air, which is pretty gangster. Around the map there are also fake players like Theodore and Matthew, and it's funny to kill them. Killing people and breaking stuff is really the only entertainment this game has to offer, aside from building, which you can do pretty much everywhere except for on the road for some reason. Around the map you could also find blatant in-game advertising, which is completely immersion breaking. Guys, I don't think I'll ever recover from this. While you can destroy the Skibbity Toilet Menace, you can also destroy the cameraman. So you really are a lone wolf in this twisted world. On the topic of advertising, every once in a while drones show up and start showing you ads, and you can't get rid of them. They're just gonna follow you around, and they even go through blocks, so you can't get away from them. Please, leave me alone. Just like the rest of these games in this exact format, once you run out of blocks, you can either spend coins to get more, watch ads, or wait on the timer. The good news is that because there are different missions, now you're able to gain coins instead of buying more. So I actually like it more than a lot of these other games, aside from the fact that the drones follow you with ads and it's a bit annoying. Our next game here is MyCraft Craft Adventure. Man, I wonder if we're gonna be crafting in this game. So first things first, this game has a story. So some evil wizard guy summons a bunch of mobs, like pigmen, into the 2D Minecraft world, and it's very scary. And the villagers were attacked and kidnapped by the mobs, and then they take the villagers as hostages. Now we enter the gameplay. This game is a simplistic platformer that uses the Minecraft characters. When actually playing the game, it doesn't have that much to do with Minecraft. It seems like a lot of these mechanics could have been lifted from another similar platformer. For example, there's no mining and no crafting, but you do push blocks around rather than place them like a Minecraft game. Obviously, there are Minecraft-themed enemies, but I could easily imagine this being a different version of something like Lep's World or other mobile Mario games, especially in terms of the sound design, as there's very little to do with Minecraft. There are even literal Mario question mark blocks around the map. Or I guess it could be the Lucky Block mod. It makes me curious as to whether or not the game was initially intended to be a Minecraft game, or if it started out as something different and was later rebranded as one. At the very least, I do have to give props to the fact that the graphics were designed coherently, and aren't just a collection of stolen assets from other people's Minecraft skins. Every once in a while, the gameplay format seems to change. Instead of doing a regular platforming level, there's now an auto-running mechanic, where you have to play it similar to Mario Run. I've seen this exact thing being done in Lep's World as well. The very next level, we make it to a boss, a mutant zombie lifted from the Minecraft mod. It's a pretty easy fight, but I will say it's nice to see a difference between levels. Kinda weird that all the different levels are back to back though. Outside of levels and inside of certain ones, there's a skin shop you could use to get a different outfit for your character. And by that, I mean, you'll never guess, more copyrighted characters. Overall, I really don't feel anything towards this game. It's pretty clear that it was designed to just be another mobile platformer, and I can't really fault them for that. It's just kind of okay.
Hi again, fellas. It's me, Kwite here. With a Y. Yeah, it's gameplay only. Get fucked. Tara asked me to check out this game he found called ZombieCraft, and he told me it looked promising, just full of glowing reviews. Thanks for the recommendation, man. In this game, you play as palette-swapped hero Brian and fight against zombies with crystal penises. Wonder if they got like a crystal skull in the dickhead. I actually have one of the highest play times of anybody to review this game, 15 minutes. I don't know if it's fair to call this a game. Like, there's no settings at all. Like, this is me trying to turn all the way around. I have a desk-length mousepad. This is how far it'll take you if I go across the whole thing. Not even 360. Basically, you have two resources to manage, your hearts and your battery. One is health, and your battery is how many blocks you can hit. Different blocks will cost different amount of charge, and after your battery runs out, punching blocks will start to run into your hearts, lowering your health. Be very careful though, because if you run that down to 0 by punching sand, you will die. What's this? I couldn't figure out how to craft in this game, like, anywhere. I managed to get my hands on a few resources, like a protein structure by killing a glowing-eyed sheep, as well as iron and quartz sand, and it really makes me think a lot of the effort into this game went into making the items themselves sound cool instead of telling you how to use them. Half my playtime was spent fiddling around in the menu, trying to figure out how any of this works. It's organized pretty nicely, don't get me wrong, the symbols that tell you what each type of item is pretty helpful. If only I could do anything with any of them. I was desperately trying to figure out how to at least fight a zombie so I could experience the namesake of the game, but they aren't anywhere. The only other signs of life are those sheep I was talking about that make the pipe hitting the ground noise whenever you punch them. I don't know if there's some kind of trigger for getting shit to spawn, or if you have a set amount of time to prepare before they start rolling in. And honestly, I don't think it's because I was missing out on it. I think it's because it just doesn't exist in the game. Every single other review confirms that there is no way to craft. Others figured out how to make iron pants, but I don't know how they did. I only have so much else to say because I don't think there's much else in this game, man. Back to you.
This one's called Noob Play, Human Ragdoll. This is another game that really has nothing to do with Minecraft from a gameplay standpoint, but instead, it's a direct ripoff of People Playground, the newest leader of the murder toy box genre, initially popularized by games like Kick the Buddy. This is basically a reskin of People Playground, with the only difference being that the blank dummies are switched out for the Minecraft characters. The funny thing is that you can get mods for People Playground, including Minecraft ones. This game is covered in ads. You can barely be playing the game for a handful of minutes, and it'll still find a way to throw a Mr. Beast skin in your face and tell you to unlock it with an ad. There are also these bonus rewards, which force you to watch an ad whether or not you want to claim it. This is usually the point where I turn off my Wi-Fi, which is what I've been doing with every other game here, but unfortunately, if you turn off the Wi-Fi, you get a pop-up telling you to turn it back on, and you can't play the game without it. Basically, this game is an ad farm, and it isn't really trying to hide it either. There's the Ultimate Pack, which is $20, and it also comes with a Skibbity Toilet Monster. What are you? Like other Minecraft ripoffs, this game tends to advertise similar games. In this case, Melon Sandbox, which most definitely follows the exact same gimmick. Characters have a tendency to just randomly disappear instead of dying, which takes the reason this game exists, to kill characters in a gory but comical way, and completely takes the fun out of it. Overall, I really don't like this game, mostly because I was watching ads more than playing the actual game. What? The next game is DragonCraft? Okay. First things first, I'm immediately greeted with an age selection screen. Time to put in my actual age of 46. Then after seeing a fun little loading screen with some different colored dragons, we are introduced to the world of DragonCraft, with a red nether portal to boot. Then we're faced with a tutorial, where it tells you how to use the controls. I'm not sure why exactly we need to be introduced to these mechanics, as most other games just let us go wild, but hey, I guess an optional intro isn't that bad. We walk through the portal and load onto the island. Then, oh no, you build a house just like the other BlockCraft ripoffs. At least now we get to hatch an egg. Wow, this UI looks amazing. Then we get a dragon, which I'm going to name not Spyro, because that doesn't look like him at all. He spawns in, but is immediately depressed, realizing he's in a Minecraft ripoff. This is so sad. I can relate heavily, as I also have to play this Minecraft ripoff. The game tells us that building a farm is gonna make our depressed dragon happy, but instead of building it ourselves, we're just gonna let the game build it for us. Now it's time to fly our dragon. Guys, I'm so excited. This game's been hyping it up so much. It's actually pretty underwhelming, as you move slowly and you just fly through rings like it's Superman 64. There's also a target practice minigame that's about as in-depth as the flying. You sit in one spot and have your dragon shoot fire to hit targets. You have 90 seconds to hit as many as you can, and some of the targets move around a little, leading to a level of variety. But at the end of the day, you can't move around, so there's only so much you can do. I will say, this is the most original part of the game, which isn't all that surprising, as every other aspect was directly taken from something else. The building in this game is a lot snappier than other games of this type, but I'd say that's actually for the worse, as with no smooth animations to guide you, it looks a bit janky, but fundamentally it's still the exact same mechanic we've seen in like a billion different games. Just tap where the game tells you to place block. This game also takes cues from Dragon City, being able to breed dragons and get new ones. I don't think this is a combination I've ever seen before, but nonetheless, my journey has come to an end, as it told me to claim my new dragon, which I wasn't able to claim, no matter how many times I hit the button. Mob Army Craft War is the next game. No, don't tell me this is another game we've already played! In this game, you go around the map collecting blocks and spending it on other things. But don't worry, this is not just a ripoff of another game. Oh wait, it is! But for this game, it follows a level system with chapters, while the other game just uses levels. But either way, it plays about the same. It's honestly crazy just how much these different games cannibalize each other, taking the entire idea of the game as well as the exact execution of it and just making it again. The only difference is that the ad money goes to a different developer this time. I wouldn't be surprised if this game was taken from another similarly formatted game, without the Minecraft branding, as some of the abilities here don't fit Minecraft all that well, like a giant asteroid falling from the sky. Either way, this game is pretty bad and very, very uninspired. The only thing I actually like about this game compared to the other ones is that your base progress stays between levels, so that's something. In Chapter 3, you fight against a warden, and after killing it, instead of just disappearing like it was a normal enemy, it instead slowly sinks into the ground, a true testament to the quality of this game. The only other thing to note is that the grass and flowers are really laggy, and that's kind of funny. This next one is BlockStarPlanet. This was made by MovieStarPlanet to appeal to Minecraft fans. At least that's what it looks like. But I guess there's only one way to figure out what it really is, by hopping in ourselves. First things first, we get to design our block star. Oh, I get it. The joke is Rockstar. Why doesn't it have any hands? After coming up with the genius nickname, Poop, I'm now entering BlockStarPlanet World Tour USA. That's a little long. Then we're bombarded with 10 trillion different things. And a gift. I think now is a good time to mention I've never really been into MovieStarPlanet or Club Penguin or any of those other online types of games. I never tried playing these games when they were popular. I don't know if that has anything to do with this game, but maybe BlockStarPlanet could help me understand why people like these kinds of games. Right away, I noticed the battle mode, where someone playing as Mommy Longlegs from Poppy Playtime began blowing me up with a rocket launcher. It gave me immense depression. One guy didn't even load in. He's just a pair of shoes. I don't know why there are people who put actual hours into getting good at BlockStarPlanet versus mode, but I mean, more power to you, I guess. Eventually, I got bored of fighting the same two people and left. But don't worry, we can also play parkour. I respect that this game has actual servers rather than just putting in bots, but that also means that a lot of the time, servers are empty with no one actually playing on them. Except for Cute 11 Adam, that scoundrel. At first, the parkour minigame wasn't really parkour. You don't jump on anything for the first 2 levels, instead just walking to the exit. After that, it turns to more of a standard platformer, where you know, jump on platforms and try to avoid hitting the ground. You don't die immediately upon touching the lava. Instead, you just take a little damage. You get a double jump, which lets you correct your positioning, something very important for a game like this. Yeah, that's about it. Another optional minigame is just called Chat, where you're supposed to meet other players and hang out. Unfortunately though, I seem to have entered a ghost server, but that doesn't matter anyways, since only registered users can chat, so it's not like I'm able to talk to anyone anyways. Maybe that's why the servers are empty. The game is in third person by default, which means I'm gonna have to stare at that awful creation I made, but thankfully, I could zoom it in, so I won't have to. Too bad I've already seen the horrors. Every time you get back to the lobby, the game asks you to make an account, which gets a little annoying. But I get that paid VIP memberships is most likely how the game makes its money. I didn't get a single ad while playing, which is actually really respectable. It's clear that a lot of kids would be playing this game, so it's good to know that they won't have to look at stuff like this.
At the end of the day, go kill yourself.
The last minigame I feel like playing is mining. You use a laser on the ground to get materials. The game instructs you to go mine, but you can only take 10 minerals before going back to spawn to dump it off. It seems very formulaic and shallow. I'm not sure why most players would be playing this, but I guess that's why no one was on it. Honestly, I'm surprised people are still playing this. This isn't a bad game by any means. It's definitely not worth buying a VIP pass, but for a free game, it has no ads and a handful of mini games. So there are definitely worse options out there.
It's me, Sournale. I've been told against my will to play a Minecraft ripoff, so I'll be playing Worldcraft 2. Play free best sandbox game with your friends. Since I hate all of my friends, I will be playing single player. For some reason I got an ad about Minecraft loading in, already a good sign. Spawning in, I already have full iron equipment, because I am so Sigma. I chose Fragile terrain, which for some reason creates these floating monuments.
Here's one called BlockStarPlanet 2. This is a sequel to a game I'd previously covered, BlockStarPlanet, and I'm glad to say that this is an official sequel, and not just a different game pretending to be one, which is pretty common for ripoff games. Starting a new world and having an Ash Ketchum skin, BlockStarPlanet 2 is already off to an interesting start. So I got into the game and the first thing I do is pick a fight with a pig. I think it's interesting that animals behave differently as they take more damage, and even start running away from you once they pass a certain threshold. It gives the mobs quite a bit of character, although I am curious as to why this game seems awfully familiar to SurvivalCraft Day 1, as well as MultiBlockCraft, which we played earlier. Maybe this game isn't that original after all. The longer I played the game, the more I felt like I'd already covered it, and that's because SurvivalCraft Day 1 is literally the same game, down to the different graphics, wonky crafting, and everything in between. And seeing that MiniBlockCraft, the original game and not the sequel, has 10 million downloads. Wait, is that true? That didn't say 10 million. That said 100 million! What?! And seeing that MiniBlockCraft, the original game and not the sequel, has 100 million downloads, it makes me wonder whether or not SurvivalCraft Day 1 was the original itself. I'm personally leaning towards the side that it is the original, as this game has strange stretched Minecraft skins as the main character, which just doesn't look right. Not to mention, SurvivalCraft Day 1 costs actual money, so either someone stole this free game and is selling it for actual money, or one of the biggest Minecraft ripoffs is actually just straight up stolen from another paid game. Regardless, this guy still has an incredibly strong arm. Those blocks went flying. Eventually I got jumped by 2 wolves while crafting, and then now I'm dead. Overall, I've played this game before. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Next, we got WildCraft Animal Sim Online. Okay, so this one isn't a Minecraft ripoff, but instead a much needed change of scenery. Trust me, after 50 games with the same graphics, this will feel like a breath of fresh air. First things first, we're hit with a loading screen that has a wonderful render of a tiger. Then you have to choose your age. Obviously, my canon age is, 32. You thought it was 46 earlier, but nuh-uh, not anymore. Now we're in WildCraft. This is a story about the wildlife. The wildlife. A story about beautiful nature and animals. Nature and animals. A story you create. Oh, so the music's just fucking gone now. Now it's time for the tutorial, where Mum tells us how to move and hunt. Wow, so realistic. Then you have to defeat the fox in a climactic battle. Why is my head inside of him? I don't know where my health is, so it's a little scary. But after beating him, I get to open the chest, and I got a rare pet accessory. Rare skin and common elixir. I don't know what they're for, but hey, they seem important. Then I get to level up my power. Now it's time to enter in my character's name. Hi, my name is 1. These wild animals eventually put on clothes and hats, which is very strange. My immersion has been completely broken. For a little bit, I thought I was really out there in the wild, and also a wolf. Tip: if you experience lags or freezes, you should change graphics level in the main menu. Once you get into the regular gameplay, hunting animals, this game is a very average animal simulator. It's no Life of Black Tiger, but still. I guess the physics are a little wonky, but to be fair, if it was a great 10 out of 10 masterpiece, legendary game, I wouldn't be talking about it. After getting some food and bonding with a fellow wolf, bonding in quotes because I almost beat it to death, I get to give her a name. This one's called 2. The game also has a multiplayer mode, but to get it, you have to reach level 10 and get a cub. So sad, I'll never be able to socialize with my other wolf friend. How am I supposed to know who's the true alpha? I don't want to go into too much detail since, as I mentioned, this isn't a Minecraft ripoff, but I hope this change of scenery was enough of a break. Time to get back to the real garbage. Garbage like Block, World, 3D, Craft, and Build. After agreeing to the terms of use, I get to look at a man wearing weird armor attached to a background he's most definitely not a part of.
Hello, friend. Welcome to Block World 3D. I will tell you about what awaits you in our game.
Oh boy, I can't wait. There are 4 game modes: adventure, building, battle, and survival. There are also different biomes, different creatures, and even a market where you could download new content, similar to the one on Bedrock Edition. And you can even spend money for premium. Everyone's favorite thing in free mobile games. Then we get to design our character. You start with 100 coins. If you want your skin color to be white, tan, or brown, that's completely free. But for some reason, you have to pay all 100 coins if you want to be black. There are also animations, but they cost 1 billion gems, which would put me in immense poverty, especially after buying a skin tone. Now it's time to make our world. First thing I noticed is that it takes forever to destroy blocks. There's also an option to immediately build structures. I was worried that means the game's a BlockCraft clone. However, it doesn't force you to build it yourself, which is great for me, because that means I won't have to review another ripoff of BlockCraft. There are a couple more crafting recipes in terms of tools than regular Minecraft, with different items like various levels of shields and hammers being available. But even with the appropriate tools, mining still takes forever, but that doesn't stop mining animals to death from being funny. There are only 5 hearts and 5 pieces of hunger, which is a little weird. Villages also spawn on top of very conspicuously placed dirt. What everything here has in common is that it all feels like Minecraft, but not quite. Something that's actually kind of cool is that the paintings are based off of actual famous paintings, like the Mona Lisa, the Scream, and Starry Night. Other ones too, that I would know if I was cultured. The world in this game isn't very big. It's really easy to walk from one side to the other. While walking through the world, I found what looked to be a nether portal on one side of the map. Going through it, it takes me to a different portal. They aren't even that far away from each other. Why is this here? Eventually I decided to start digging down and seeing what happens. For some reason you can't craft stone tools, so a wooden pickaxe is the best I can get. Eventually I found what looks to be iron, but unluckily I couldn't mine it and ran out of wood. At night I was expecting some mobs to spawn, but from what I can tell there were no monsters. But when I did go to bed, I slept through a wall. It didn't even skip to daytime. Why are beds even in this game? You can also place blocks through them. Overall, this game kind of reminds me of old Minecraft Pocket Edition, at least with the limited world size. But I'd be lying if I said that some aspects weren't a little questionable. Why did I have to pay 100 coins to be black? But generally, this game is still far from the worst here. For the last game in this video, I'm once again going to cover BlockCraft 3D building game. You may be wondering why I've decided to end this video, and by extension this trilogy, by covering a game I've already talked about before. Well, that's because BlockCraft 3D building game is actually the very first game I've ever talked about in the Minecraft ripoffs videos. Looking back at it today, it definitely hasn't held up as well as any of my later videos, but at the time, it was the best video I've ever made, something I was truly proud of. To show how far I've come, I've decided to cover this game again, and hopefully better than before. Opening the game, we're once again greeted with a cutscene. Playing through this tutorial again, it's clear that a lot of these other games are clearly just trying to be a worse version of this. Down to the method of building, and even the way the game introduces itself, the gameplay loop, and the UI. It still has the same fundamental problems, like not having any creative say in what you're building, or having limited blocks, but at the very least, it doesn't automatically look at the block you're supposed to be placing. The game plays a really funny jingle every time you finish a building. I guess to encourage players to keep building. Yes! Yes! I placed a block where the game told me to! Woo! Maybe that's why this game's so successful. After making a handful of structures, you can gamble in the gift machine and get a gift. I got a black cat. The game ultimately follows the exact same formula as the game that ripped it off. It wants you to build until you run out of blocks, then use gold to get more. At least this one doesn't require an internet connection, so you can play it without having ads shoved down your throat. When connecting the game to Wi-Fi, you can see other people's builds and villages. And taking a look at them, it's clear that some people actually put effort into making these look good, which I personally find absolutely insane. I guess that's what happens when Minecraft is $10. Some people have to make do with what they can, I guess. Look, somebody even made a little nether portal. It almost tells me what game they'd rather be playing. In one of the worlds, I encountered a dog. There he is. Looking at other people's worlds was honestly way more fun than building my own, which is interesting because it's also one of the few features that this game has that all of its successors don't. It gives you a reason to be building with creativity rather than just using the presets, which is pretty good. I remember at some point growing up, I actually played BlockCraft for a bit, so this one's pretty old. This age advantage made BlockCraft the go-to Minecraft ripoff, demonstrated by the amount of direct copies we've seen in this very video. Something that's definitely changed since last time is the tagline. It's no longer more than one game, apparently. But wait, I feel like one specific character didn't get an appearance. One that first appeared in Minecraft ripoffs too.
Hey guys! Terrorism Gaming here! If you're wondering why my voice all of a sudden sounds lowered pitch, it's because I got older! Today, I'll be terrorizing BlockCraft Planet of Cubes! I can't believe the entire planet is made of cubes! That's genius! So when do I get to blow shit up? What? You have to pay 500 coins? No! That's fuck this game!
Making this video shows me that even in the world of ripoffs, there's still a hierarchy. More prominent ripoffs, like BlockCraft, inspire ripoffs of their own, which just shows how big Minecraft is, when even its ripoffs can get popular enough to inspire other ripoffs. But through all this, one thing is certain. Stay away from any mobile game that forces you to turn on your internet, and also, no more Minecraft ripoffs. I'm done, baby, let's go! I can't believe it's finally over. I spent the last 2 months working on this shit. I'm done, no more Minecraft.